Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
World champions.
World champions. Yeah. Is that what we call that? I don't know. We got to talk. I'm not even being a jerk. We got to talk about, I can't wait to do our retrospective of this episode because we're going to talk about Chelsea winning the Club World Cup. Ron, you already have a scarf from the Club World Cup? That was
it only shipped from New York. It didn't ship from Europe or like China or anything. Like it only shipped a few states, Blake. Like, come on, that modern technology, you can get it here in a few days.
You've got an authentic Chelsea Club World Cup championship scarf signed by Donald J. Trump.
Be so good if you did.
I don't have it yet. I ordered it, but it's not here yet.
Oh, you know what would be awesome is if the package, when you got there, the package came in, you took out the package and you saw this big like plate looking thing, and then you unlocked the plate and then a scarf came out.
Oh, right.
How cool with that.
I forgot. Was that Tiffany's? Is that who did it?
Did they make it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tiffany's made the trophy.
Good for them.
Well, if you didn't know, Chelsea done won the Club World Cup, and that's what we're going to talk about in tonight's episode as they beat the powerhouse champions of Europe, the only Premier League team to manage to beat PSG this year, by a staggering score of 3-0. We'll discuss and debate all the headlines of the final match, Chelsea, PSG, and just the tournament as a whole, and our infamous 2-minute drill. Oh, we're going to have a tough time sticking to that one. I got a feeling.
Yeah, I think we'll do all right.
And then we're going to blow the halftime whistle as the club champion of the cold Cole Palmer chicken pot pie and chow jambalaya of the juicy Chelsea jam. Ron shares us all the news that's fit to drink and another edition of Ron's beer news. Just when I think Ferris has done all that he could do with those, he pulls out another one.
Yeah, he's got a deep well to draw from.
I still wait all year long for the Christmas episode where he does every headline off of a Christmas Carol. That's my favorite one.
I love doing that.
It's the gift that keeps on giving the whole holiday season. And finally, for the second half of the pod, we're going to jump across the pond as we check out the Women's Euro and make our picks for the knockout rounds in this edition of the La Liga's Roundup. But first, our beer. I am hitting. I believe I've had these guys. I've talked about them. Collusion Tap Works because they're nearby. They're out of York, Pennsylvania. They've got a brew pub I go to in Lidditz. It's closer to me. But a really good local brewery. And this one is in honor of Ferris. And I think when I show you the logo, you'll know why.
Oh, that's fun. This is a skull, like a skull ginger Irishman.
Yeah, it's like the leprechaun from the Leprechaun movies just it devolved into a skull. It's their Shenanigans Dry Irish Stout. Because sometimes I just want a Guinness. And I saw that thing sitting in the to-go on the way out, and I went, you know what? I'm gonna try theirs. I don't think this one's nitro though. I think this is just regular carbonate, but I'm excited to try their Dry Irish Stout.
Nice.
That sounds good.
Ron, what you got?
Okay. Sorry. So I am going to finish off the last of my Scottish beers from my travels to Scotland. Gentlemen, I have one that piqued my interest. I think they're a pod debutante in Innis and Gunn.
No, we have, Ron.
There's no way.
Early. We're talking first season, man, of the Brewtiful Game. We did pull an Innis and Gunn rare one.
I think you're right.
A barrel aged or something. We did one. I mean, it is like early days.
In fact, while you talk, I'm going to check the site that at least we probably have it on there somewhere. So all right. I'll scour the site.
Sounds good. This one, so Innis and Gunn, they're a Scottish brewery right outside of Edinburgh. They've been around since the mid-90s, and they do all kinds of fun aged beers in things like wine barrels and casks and all that kind of stuff. So this one I thought would be interesting. It is the Caribbean rum cask.
Ooh.
This is a Scottish red aged in Caribbean rum casks, and it is 6.8 on the old ABV. Suitable for vegans, says the website. And the malt is Innocent Gun ale malt with roasted barley and chocolate malt. So that should be a fun one. The first sip follows through on an amazing promise where Scottish red beer meets the finest of Caribbean rum. The aromas give way to palate-pleasing, punchy notes of fruit, rum, and chocolate. This full-bodied flavor is enhanced by the use of Innocent Gun ale malt, chocolate malt, and roasted barley. The finish is one of a kind, dropping a warm yet mellow 6.8 ABV.
I do like Innocent Gun. It's been a while since I've had one. And their cask one, that's what I have the memory of, is we did something cask. By the way, Ron, trying to see if we had done it before, Innocent Gun has a limited edition with Lefrog's Islay cask whiskey, or Islay cask whiskey, peaty, scotch. We need that. I don't know if it's still gettable, but we need that.
Well, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, and I don't see it anywhere on our, at least through the first 136 episodes of the pod. So
it is hard. I tried to do the same. It is a little hard to go through our pages.
Yeah,
easily.
I just like the Control F. I can't find Gun. I can't find Ennis. I'm still scrolling through. I don't.
Anyway, it's all good. Whether we have or haven't, they're an awesome brewery in Scotland.
Heck yeah, they are.
So I'm doing that one. What you got, Ferris?
Oh, I'm boring. I didn't have time to get anything else, so I'm doing a Sweetwater bit out of that pack that I got a while ago. It's one of their IPAs. I don't think I had this one on the pod last time, but I don't know. I may have. Who knows? But you head over to sweetwaterbrew.com, based out of Atlanta, Georgia. This is a year-round IPA they have. It's called Going Coastal IPA. Has 6.1% ABV, and on the site it says, "Slip into some sunshine and step away off the grid by going coastal with this pineapple-laced IPA. The bright aromas of the 5 citrus hop additions are I do not know that word. Attenuated by the tropical fruit of the pineapple, and just like those 3-day weekends, its finish is quick, golden copper in color with a full malt bill."
I think that word is accentuated.
Accentuated.
I like the way Fair says it, though.
Yeah, Pulisic.
You're looking so sensuous. Sensuous up. Yeah, why don't you grab me a beer?
I don't know. I just don't know if I've ever seen that word. But there was a word today too that I was at work and I was trying to say like the person's taking the reins on something, and I spelt it REIGHN or
REIG like rain, like a king's reign.
Correct. Not REIN.
Yes.
Which I don't think I've ever actually seen that word spelled out.
Yeah. And for horses, it's REIN.
Yes. So like somebody pointed out today, I was like, you know what? Yes, I know the difference of what rain and rains is, but like I don't think I've ever actually typed the word out or seen it written in that way and knew that. So that this is one of those words. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, I'm having that beer. I got 2 others that I probably had on the pod before, so if I'm thirsty, I'll open up one of those.
I'm jealous for yours, Ron. I was just reading up on it, trying to find if we had it on our pod before. I had Innocent Gun. It's going to be wild if we got to episode 261 and didn't. That's nuts, but maybe we didn't.
A lot of beers in the world, gentlemen.
All right. Cheers, gents. Let's crack these bad boys open.
I think this glass is clean.
Oh man, this was a messy open. Gonna have the office smelling of the old dry Irish stout.
Look at that.
Look at that. Pew, Clark.
Oh man, that's a dark brown copper. Like that's awesome looking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, does it smell of vanilla?
That is not the name of this, is it? That is awesome.
What's that?
I don't know. Are we getting like Tropical Storm Dexter? What is this? A tropical
Maybe
impression? I don't know. So that's why I'm doing going coastal because I'm here on the coast. Well, kind of near in Central Florida. But
check that bad boy out.
Whatever, west.
In my sweet alien glass. That's why I drink the the dark ones out of there. So it looks correct cool. With
Heck
Ripley.
Yeah.
All right, cheers, gents.
Cilantro.
Ooh, Ferris, you'd approve of this Irish stout. This is good.
Sure, I would. Ooh, that's probably the best IPA of theirs that I've had.
Wow.
I was almost going to go IPA tonight. How's the old Innocent Gun?
That's incredible. It definitely has a bit of that bitterness up front of the traditional reds, and then it turns to like a bit of chocolate with like almost, it's going to sound weird, but almost a vanilla aftertaste. It's awesome.
Damn, that does sound good.
Yeah, if you were here, you'd have some.
Yeah,
called out.
You don't get off to work until 7. Get home by 7:30. Slam down some tacos and chips, and do content in 45 minutes.
Priorities. That's all.
I know.
It's just nice to see three good beers, Ferris.
Yes, you have. I'm jealous.
It's just nice to see Ron back in his studio and not because family's visiting, sequestered out to the lawn, fighting the mosquitoes. He's calling it.
That's right.
And we had family who left yesterday, so it was close.
Oh, I was surprised to see you in the studio. Time. I won't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, this beer's good. All right, we're gonna jump quicker to the 2-minute drill than sometimes we usually do. So, Ron, the floor is yours.
On Sunday, Chelsea Football Club won the infamous FIFA Club World Cup in emphatic fashion as they surprised the entire planet, including PSG, with a tactically brilliant, dominating 3-0 win over the European champions. Wow, gents. In one word other than surprise, shock, who'da thunk it, what word or two would you describe this championship match as?
I wrote it. I don't even know.
Man, I know. I mean,
tactically brilliant. That would be my 2 words.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Did I say that?
I got one for you. I'm gonna say inevitable.
Okay, I can kind of
for PSG.
Yeah, there was something about how the tournament was going and how Chelsea was playing that and conversely, and this isn't a knocking Chelsea, PSG wasn't as precise.
In this match, but I think to your point, what I took from that, Blake, was inevitable because everybody was like, Chelsea have no chance. The odds were insurmountable to PSG. PSG are going to walk all over them. They're going to win 4 or 5-0. Whenever that kind of talk happens, it almost always seems to go the opposite way.
Yeah, when someone's like, "Oh, don't worry about this match." When leading after the 25th minute by 2 goals, this team has never lost. Like, shut up. That's exactly what they lose.
It's like,
right?
Yeah. Okay, Ron, what would your word or two be?
Damn ridiculously awesome.
That's a lot. Well, I'm about to give you 2 whole minutes here, and you couldn't just go keep it to 2 words?
Well, damn ridiculous is
one word. Yeah, okay.
So, here you go.
Hold on. On the flip side of this, what's one word you think that Luis and Enrique would say after this match?
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Where's Luis Enrique from?
I think is he Spanish?
I think he'd say something like Madre.
Should I
gonna want to
bleep that? I was gonna say,
yeah, like,
what did you
just
bleep
say? That out? Okay. Ron's shaking his head yes.
You're gonna want to bleep that.
I'm just writing bleep Ron's dirty Spanish.
You can leave the Madre part. That means mother.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. I guess we really do have to
Okay. Now we know where you're going with that one.
Look, I think Ferris is 100% right. I think everyone, including myself on the last pod, called for a PSG 3-1 win. No one really thought that Chelsea was going to be able to kind of pull it together enough. But I think a couple of things were interesting. One, our new signings really helped propel us here, including Joao Pedro. But I have to give credit to the person I doubt the most on the team, which is Enzo Maresca. Tactically, he set up that team excellently for everything PSG tries to do. He took the best of the teams in the tournament that gave PSG the hardest times and was able to create a Chelsea version of those things, especially the Botafogo match where Botafogo beat PSG, right? And PSG, I think, came out with the mentality that this is Chelsea and they're all kinds of, cattywampus as a team. They don't have an identity. They had the easy side of the bracket, so we'll be okay. And then was not ready for the physicality of Chelsea, the speed of Chelsea, the press, the overloads of Pedro Neto and Malo Gusto, which was a surprise to almost everyone, considering Malo Gusto has never been the person running up the wing creating an overlap. But he gave the PSG defense on that right side fits the entire match. PSG couldn't get in a rhythm. They didn't have the ball long enough to press on strike that, reverse it. They were not able to get onto Chelsea when Chelsea was in a position in order to do their main game plan, which is essentially creating turnovers in the final third so that they can take advantage of it there. It was incredible how tactically savvy the entire team was. I feel like everyone played at an 8, 9, 10 level in order to make this happen. I can't find one person including the goalkeeper, who I'm also hard on. He made incredible saves, especially when the team needed it, right? And that builds confidence in the team, builds confidence in the defense. Cole Palmer, just absolutely ice in those two clutch goals where he didn't go for power. He didn't go for anything fantastic. He just stroked and passed that ball right where he wanted it. It wasn't anything flashy. It wasn't anything amazing for the highlight reel. It was just perfection. And I was absolutely shocked that we were doing so well. In the second half, I was like, "Oh, maybe we're gonna witness the greatest comeback in Club World Cup history." But Chelsea just came out and seemed to have a limitless supply of energy, and they went the full 90 plus minutes, and there was nothing PSG could do to get out from under our defense, our press. We created great chances. Our midfield was absolutely dominating theirs, especially Moises Caicedo, who, I mean, that guy is on the heels of N'Golo Kante and Chelsea lore. He's doing so well. So I have to give props to the team. I can't say that they're the, quote, best in the world, right? Like, but on this day, in this tournament, it worked out absolutely fabulously. So there you go.
We're kind of bouncing through a little bit of our first three questions.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I think
but because we touched a little bit on Luis Enrique for a second. But I mean, Chelsea, the other inevitable is like, yes, it seemed like it was inevitable in the way that it was gonna. In some instances, you could do the negative, right? It was so up on PSG that it was going to win this that somehow it's inevitable that they just failed miserably. But also, like, Chelsea, good in the final. They just are and have been. Cole Palmer in his last three finals has scored 6 goals. So, I mean, what's your Champions League 2012? Yeah, 2012. 2013 Europa League final, 2019 Europa League final, 21 Champions League final, 22 Club World Cup final, 25 Conference League final, and then a Club World Cup final again. I mean, like, Chelsea likes a final. I don't think you want to play them in one. Do you think did PSG just let off the gas? They were very passionate, as your next question, Ferris. That was an 8-minute drill.
I roamed through. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
All good. So on the flip side of that, yeah, what did we make of PSG, the hair pull, Enrique's antics following the final whistle from the match?
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, so it felt like they let off the gas, but then it also seemed like they cared a lot more than their playing dictated in some way. That was very surprising into the match.
This to me felt like a controller thrown to the couch when you're playing.
Yes.
EA. It's like nothing was seemingly going right. A lot of which was caused by what Chelsea did, and I'll quote Phil Hay from the Athletic, who I think hit the tactics of what the Blues did so well: an aggressive high press aligned with faster counters and balls over the top. You know, that certainly isolated the backs of PSG. The early saves were on to what you were saying. That is it Robert Sanchez, Roberto Sanchez? Probably. It's what? Sorry.
Roberto Sanchez. Well, you know, for a proper game that he played and looking like he actually knew what he was doing in goal, let's call him Robert Sanchez, because he made some big saves in that first half to keep them in it. The game could have been 1-1. The game, you know, could have been 2-1 at one point. There's a number of things that could have happened, and once those saves started going, you almost just felt PSG become more annoyed. And that certainly showed in the second half, where Joao Neves was sent off for pulling on, in fairness, somebody's hair that I'm sure we all would like to pull on from time to time, and I'm sure Holland would love to do the same. But Cucurella's head, and when it went when it went to VAR, it was rightly, you know, deemed a red card offense. And then after the match, that is a very, very bad look from Enrique, who, you know, not only was in the middle of this kind of scuffle in words, but put hands on Joao Pedro, and you just essentially saw the frustrations completely boil over. And as a head coach, as anybody on that field, it's tough. I understand it.
play a damn game online and a controller could be thrown. I feel like I want to say some bad words and go, but you've been there before. You've lost before. You won before. But I'm not surprised if he doesn't see some sort of suspension in a next FIFA match. If they get there again, that's the hard part. He's not going to be suspended from the league. He's not going to be suspended in UEFA. It'll be a FIFA match, and if PSG are playing in one of these again, or they could find them, it's something along those lines. But yeah, PSG just got clobbered, and you can just tell they were annoyed.
That's about it. His statement says that he was going there to de-escalate the situation, but that's a little bit in contrasting with the video footage of him kind of angrily chopping João Pedro in the chin and neck with his hand.
Yeah, agreed.
So, wait a minute. Does this get to our next question? Should I blow the whistle? Are they world champions? Okay, we're gonna blow the air horn. I feel like we've moved on to the next subject. So, are they world champions? Well,
no.
I guess what's champions of Europe, right? If you're Champions League, so I guess Club World Cup. I mean, it's more world champions than the winners of the World Series are.
Right. Well, that's true. Yes,
at least there's 4 countries playing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but there's no champions of England in there in that tournament. There was no champions of Spain in there, so there was no Liverpool, no Barcelona.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to back this up a little bit because this goes to. Hold on. We're all over the place. We are doing terrible at this 2-minute drill, but you're right. Because one of the questions you've got, the setup of the new tournament format, you're right. Like, it is weird that you were missing what felt like should have been teams that would have gotten in. I know it was based off what did we saw last pod?
Like 4 years worth of like the reason that some of these teams were in it,
but Liverpool wasn't, when the qualifying period came for this, Liverpool wasn't in a position to qualify. That's why Man City was in.
Didn't they win the Champions League like 2-3 years ago? Was that not in the qualifying time?
Qualify.
Okay. Listen, Chelsea won the tournament. They had the better side of the bracket when it got to the knockout stages, but they won who was in front of them, put a masterclass on in the final, and won this tournament. They sat out to do that. They wanted to do it. They did it. Good for them. I guess if it's the moniker or tagline of this is world champs, then go ahead, because you know what? The Yankees and the Sox and the Dodgers, they're world champions of baseball that's only played in the continental U.S. and Canada.
So why did it take Maresca so long to actually press instead of playing from the back that was making the fans so angry?
So I honestly think that we're seeing the evolution of the man that was reportedly not going to evolve, right? The first half of the Premier League season, he allowed the team to kind of play what they were playing to a moderate success. He didn't like it, imposed Maresca ball in January in a more aggressive fashion. We had a massive dip in form. Then he kind of softened, realizing that, his way is not always the best way. And then throughout this tournament, I think you can honestly see that he continues to evolve and change his tactics based on the team he's going to play and the assets he has available. So I think that he's done what everybody thought he wasn't going to do, which was be flexible in his game plan, right? And so I think that's why we're seeing such a much more fun in the tournament for these guys than we saw in the last half of the Premier League.
So I am actually a little confused with the qualifying thing, because it does say that Champions League winners is part of the qualifying.
But only for a certain period.
Oh, I see. So, I see who's left out there. But did Liverpool not win the Premier League in that time too, though? They did. So I'm just confused. Yeah, I'm.
Inter Miami was in there.
That's the problem, Ron. That's the
Seattle
problem.
Sounders were in there.
That is.
I don't think did Seattle win the MLS in the past few years? I don't think so.
No, they were in CONCACAF.
Oh, CONCACAF. Yes, correct. They won CONCACAF. Okay, and LAFC won the MLS a few years ago. But why isn't Columbus Crew in it?
Oh, so
right.
Here you go. Liverpool wasn't included in the expanded 32-team Club World Cup. Club World Cup because the FIFA implemented a rule limiting each nation to a maximum of 2 clubs.
What they we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's just go on to the next one.
I know this it's like a tangled web we with this thing.
Real quick, the other thing is that in the season of the Club World Cup, everyone automatically forgets that there were qualifiers to it, and it's just the players and the teams from that season, right? So everyone is like, well, how could they be champions of the world when Real Madrid have been, destroying the place, and Liverpool won this and that won that, and everyone forgets that there's kind of a long qualifying period. It's not just one season.
Yeah, because you don't have Barcelona either.
Because
clear as mud.
Terrible. What?
Clear as mud.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think the biggest problem is, though, for me, okay, fine. I'm with you, except Miami was in there.
That part was 100%
right.
Grab to get
commercial base. Speaking of money, Ron,
money. Going back to England with a cool $114 million in my pockets, so PSR can suck it. But thanks, FIFA.
Yeah. Hey, it's a hell of a payday, and I do think that this payday will entice teams to the long, many years qualifying that you think, Ron. But you know what? Maybe we should take this game a little bit more seriously. Maybe we should play that, because if we're going to get that kind of payday, I just paid for John DeLapp, Roy DeLapp, Jim DeLapp, the whole DeLapp family, along with the guy that you guys signed, Joao Pedro, his next 10 years of the Pedro family, and it also paid for the dude Gittins and Mittens and Kittens. It just paid for all of that without even having to flip pretty much anybody. And by the way, you sold another Chelsea player to Arsenal, so it's pretty much 115 mil, 114 to the good.
Well, that's almost true.
I know.
And the only reason I say that is because there is a massive tax bill coming, because Chelsea's going to have to pay that tax on their winnings, and there are player bonuses for getting all the way and winning the final. So it's not going to be quite as much, but it's still going to be quite a nice chunk of.
And it's more than they had going into the tournament. So I think,
Yep, 100%.
I think my question, I think what I want to say is probably tied more to my question. So
copy.
I'll wait and we'll go to the next one. Which is you, Ferris.
So speaking of Joao Pedro, with the tournament being won and all the fresh new Impact signings like him, Ron, do you have high hopes for Chelsea winning the Premier League and or Champions League this upcoming season?
No.
None?
No.
Really?
I'll tell you.
I feel like Champions League is actually where.
Yeah.
I
feel like one of the two is, absolutely.
I think they will be in the top 4 easily of the Premier League. And I think they'll go far in Champions League. However, we have had no preseason. This was our preseason. So now our players are going to get 3 weeks off while the rest of the Premier League is tuning up. We are tuning down so that our players can get a rest. Then we're going to have some sort of weird kind of rotation of squad the first couple of weeks so that all of our players can have a rest.
Oh, you have enough of them.
Well,
that's not exactly true anymore.
Yeah. Can I? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So I don't think we're going to have that great of a start to the season, to be honest. Also, we don't have the luxury of what we did in the conference, the Europa Conference League, where we essentially fielded 2 complete different teams with occasional overlap, right? In the Conference League, we played all the B, C, and D team to win that tournament and barely touched a lot of the first team in the Premier League. We won't actually have that ability in the Premier League and Champions League. Right. So while I think they're going to do very well by the end of both of those tournaments, I don't think we're in Maresca's second year, which no one's ever seen a second year out of Maresca. So we don't know what's going to happen. It's encouraging, but I don't know that we're going to win the Premier League and or the Champions League. I think we'll go far, but I don't think we're going to do it.
But higher hopes, right?
Oh, without question. Higher hopes than the past, 4 years? And one last thing. I feel so bad for Noni Madueke.
No, why?
I do, because I like that guy. He works hard. He has heart. He wanted nothing but for us to win. And he was not played in the final because he's moving to Arsenal. So he helped the team get all the way to the final and then didn't.
Do you feel bad for Nicholas Jackson?
No, he can still go. The only thing he did that was great in this tournament was get a red card.
That's going to be
to play, which then allowed
Ron.
Do you feel bad for washing machines?
Ron, you got to watch it. Don't downplay him too much. Otherwise, Man United will not sign him as their new striker.
Fair enough.
You got to be careful.
Just hit the thing again. Let's get on to this.
Okay, so my stuff keeps coming up that I want to talk about, but I think it fits more in this question here. So now the tournament's over. Let's start with the final actual play and set up of the new tournament format. I'm going to kind of take this question, rearrange it, and make it the question I want it to be, which is like, because I think it plays into it because this new format and what they're doing. And mind you, now Infantino, Toronto, Mr. I'm just not going to hide the corruption. I'm just going to do it in front of everybody. FIFA president right now.
It's a great way to go.
They're already talking, and even Arsene Wenger about doing this every other year now. Do this every 2 years. So I think when you ask about like what do you think about this, the new setup of the tournament, we already kind of mentioned, okay, only 2 teams from each country. That's fine, but like really Miami, like I know why you did it, but to me it hurts the validity of the tournament though when you do stuff like that, right? Because you're like, we'll just put the best 2 clubs that have done the best in MLS in the last couple of years, whatever. That's fine, I'd have taken one MLS and one USL club, whatever, but over just throwing in Miami because Messi's in it. Like that to me hurts the validity of it overall. But then this new setup, and if they're wanting to push it every 2 years, what Ron just brought up to me will be the telling thing. These clubs that made it to the semifinals through the finals, let's see what happens with injuries and beginnings of seasons. Because right now in the Premier League, if you botch 3 matches, we're slowly turning into the NCAA football of world soccer. You screw up 3 matches, your season's done. You cannot win right. Like that's kind of when you're playing. And obviously, I know Man City weren't as perfect last year, but like that's kind of the way it feels right now in the Premier League. Is you need to kind of mostly have an almost flawless season. So what does this mean for these teams that last a bit longer, for PSG, for Chelsea, for Fabernash? I mean, like how I think that says more to me about this than do I like this format of this tournament. What does it mean for these teams in the next 2 months?
I think the thing with the format, the expanded format, I liked. You saw what the South American clubs, they brought their full teams, their fan bases, the love, the passion they wanted to play in. Most of the European teams did too. I think the format of the expanded field is good. You got to keep it 4 years though to draw some interest, right? Every 2 years, you're gonna saturate it a bit.
It's the Super League almost at that
right.
point, yeah.
And I think the other point that I think is kind of unlooked, or maybe hasn't been talked about as much, is if you do it every 4 years in the same time frame that you're doing it right now, in terms of it's played in the host city prior to where the World Cup's going to be played, it's almost a warm up and helps that city, helps you prepare for what that next year is, right? We've learned some things going into this, and I think the overall format of the tournament, it's a tournament, right? You have your group stages, you have your knockouts. Well, why change that at all? It works. It's fine, right? The play on the field was pretty good, all things considered, right? You had teams going at it. You had some upsets. You saw some teams you never heard of, Auckland City and the Korean team, or the one of those other teams. I can't think of the name right now. But the format is good. I think you take away some of those just solid points, and you don't try to recreate the wheel after you've recreated the wheel, right? Like, why try to move to 16-wheeler when you've only started with a 4-wheeler that works efficiently, type of thing,
Another interesting thing to note, which I like the expanded format, because teams that we would never see are in this, and teams like Auckland or Mamelodi Sundown, right? Yes. Like, those teams, just for being in the tournament, they made over 600% of the budget that they normally have in this.
Awesome.
So they're going to go home and they're going to take that money. And most of the leagues, how they're doing that is they're giving that team some of the money, but then they're keeping some of that money and spreading it across other teams to help make the entire league better, right? And that is just going to make the game better for those cities and up the level of competitiveness globally, right? So in that respect, that's really good. I don't think we need to make it 48 teams or anything crazy like that. Just leave it as it is in the new tournament, because he keeps branding it as a new tournament, even though it's been going for many years.
But like our pods at 7 year, 8 year, 9, what did we figure out it was? We totally did the count wrong. I got yelled at by Tony. Sounds good. We've had a couple of these World Cup, Club World Cup, Cuppity Cups. Dudes, we haven't given a crap. We've never talked about them.
Yeah, that's not true. We also talked about the last time Chelsea won, because we've won it now twice.
We didn't do a whole segment and 2-minute drill on the Club World Cup with Chelsea won
for Chelsea or Liverpool, because they won it right.
It's because and if you don't know what we're talking about, the Club World Cup used to be your teams that won each competing in like an 8-team or 16 tournament, where it was your team from UEFA, your team from CONCACAF, your team from the 6 big regions, and that was it. So the expandedness of it to all those things we just talked about makes a good thing. Now, Ron, I'm going to steal your next one here. But on the flip side, heat concerns, weather delays.
Wait. There we go. That was our 10-minute drill for that one. Go to that next question.
Ron, ask the question then.
So with the weather delays over the course of the tournament, how and what can FIFA do, if anything, for the World Cup next summer to improve the concerns which lingered like a specter over this tournament, like Florida thunderstorms and heat advisories and 5 games being postponed?
I have a suggestion.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go back a few questions. Chelsea's not a world champ. You know why? Who the hell wins a championship at 3 p.m. on a Sunday? like this stupid times that they put in. We talked a little bit about the last pod, but these dumb times, knowing how freaking hot it is here, and people in Europe are like, dude, we'll get up earlier. We'll stay up late and watch these matches.
Yes.
Why are you doing this?
Yes, and you said it on the last pod. Like, just play to the host city, especially for the World Cup. Like, people will watch it. Who gives a if it's on at like 10 o'clock to start? We got to watch here on the East Coast at 10 o'clock because the whoever Los Angeles LeBrons are playing the Steph Golden Staters. Like, so just play it at a normal time here, a 7 o'clock, a 7:30 time here in the U.S. Europe will watch it. England will watch it.
Dude, you know what happened when
it doesn't matter. The world has different times all throughout. Yeah. It's the World Cup. They will watch it regardless of the time. So play it to the host city and just make it more tolerable for the players, and not playing this at 3 o'clock in Orlando, Florida, when it's the June and the hot summer and the thunderstorms that roll in. Now I get it. There was only 6 different delays because of weather out of the 60-some games. That's not a bad percent to delay games, but you can reduce that down to a game or two by just moving it back a little bit. 7 o'clock
and whatever. Because Ron, I think, experienced the same thing I did when I lived in Japan. You know what? So many bars are doing brunch to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like, I mean, that was so stupid to me, and I'm sure maybe it's some TV rights thing or whatever, but if you're getting these games constant delayed and stuff, and you didn't have that but I mean, the World Cup, I mean, they really should just.
Do you know who doesn't even worry about this?
Who's that?
The Olympics.
Oh,
wherever it's played.
That's a great example.
They don't care.
That's a great example.
They don't care. People still watch it, whether it's in Sydney, whether it's in Paris. It doesn't matter. They don't cater to it. They go to what the home country is, and people will still watch it. Or they'll find ways to delay it and watch it later at their time zones. Do the same thing with the World Cup.
All the Olympics played in,
Sochi.
Sydney or Sochi. Or we would see them over our night. They start coverage of replays at 8 a.m. You get up, you watch the Olympic recap, and then you tune into the ones you want during the day or at night.
If I had one I really wanted to watch, to be honest, like my favorite ritual was in the morning. I like making breakfast, cutting on something, not seeing the spoiler yet to whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, like you just, I saw Europeans on like, I think it was some guy that was on the Men in Blazers was just like, dude, you'll just stay up and watch. Like, what is, don't kill these guys.
All the athletic podcasts were saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is absolutely stupid. Here's some really fast things about the temperature ranges. So the longest delay was Chelsea Fluminense. They saw heat over 35 C, which is basically 96 degrees. Fans in
Charlotte, by the way, not Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina.
And I got to tell you, that's like Green Bay winning Wisconsin in the winter. Chelsea, they mighty close to hell. They got this temperature down pat. They got no problems with it. Y'all remember the Blue Devil Down in Georgia song from years ago on this podcast? It just made me think about that. Sorry, go ahead.
In Cincinnati, on-field temperatures during matches were upwards of 113 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not fair.
No.
There's no reason people should be running around playing that.
No.
7 out of the 11 host cities exceeded the WBGT 28 degrees Celsius threshold, which risks heat stress. WBGT, anyone know what that stands for?
Mm-mm.
Wet bulb globe temperature.
Say that again.
Wet bulb globe temperature.
I need you to tell me what that
learn something
means.
On the spot.
Okay, so for all
use it in a sentence.
Can you use it in a sentence?
So for all you science nerds out there, the wet bulb globe temperature
You're going to get this pod
That's
censored.
the name of the pod.
You're going to get it censored. Oh, wait. Yeah. Right. Say it one more time, Ron. Say the phrase.
Wet bulb globe temperature.
It's the best thing I've heard in a long time.
I'm not you. This is a true thing.
Oh.
It is a measure of environmental heat as it affects humans, right? So unlike a simple temperature measurement on a thermometer, the wet bulb globe temperature counts for 4 major environmental heat factors, which is air temperature, humidity, the radiant heat from like the sun, and air movement to give you a temperature, right? So in layman's terms, it's a 95-degree day. You and a friend are working outside. Your friend is in the shade. You are in the sun. You get heat stress faster than the person in the shade, right? We all know that, right? You're at the beach, you get hot, you get into the shade, you're cooler, right? So there is a machine that has 3 different types of thermometers on it, and that measures all of the temperatures, does its little math, and spits out a number, right? And that tells you essentially what the stress on a person is in certain temperature ranges, and it's called the wet bulb globe temperature. Look it up. I'm not making it up.
Oh, I believe you. You're a creative guy. That's not coming off your dome. That is insane. Wet bulb glow temperature, and that will be the name of this episode. You damn straight about that. I hope we're starting a
Chelsea
new
won the Club World Cup.
Yeah, I hope we're starting a new tradition because I really like the name of the last pod episode as well.
That'd be a great beer name too.
Yeah, yes, wet bulb glow temperature. That's like an excellent crisp pilsner for a hot day.
Yeah.
God, I love it. All right.
And finally, as I crack another beer here just because the conversation's been so good and I piled through the other one. Was this tournament ultimately a good thing for the future of football, including the World Cup here in the United States next summer?
It apparently was good for FIFA. But they said they generated $2 billion or something. What did they say?
Yes, they say that it generated over $31 million per match, to a total of over $2 billion in revenue.
So does that
That's
just mean
$4 tickets?
But what does that mean? Does that mean the tickets? Does that mean tickets? People buying things in the town? Are they generating revenue? Is that just
commercial merchandise, the whole nine, probably?
FIFA, the 501c nonprofit organization that it is,
makes sense to me. So Scientology, right?
Did not.
Sorry, I'm gonna probably get sued for that or something. But
you're gonna get Tom Cruise going to show up on this podcast?
Yeah. No, they're a religion. Sorry, they're not. Yeah.
So yeah, they are a nonprofit. They're the richest nonprofit on the planet, and they did not release the money.
I don't expect them to.
And to be honest, I don't even know. That's like a massive roundup, in my opinion. Right? There were so many. The stadiums were empty until the semis and the finals.
And even then, man,
it's probably like simple math, right? It's like what we got on the TV deals, or what we did this with, the partnerships, the sponsors, take all of that, add it up. The ticket sales and stuff probably was just a fraction. But you do the math, you do it over the 60-some games, that's probably a number you come up to, right?
Doesn't the DAZN thing, though, sound shady? Because, like, those guys came out of nowhere at the last minute with the TV deal for, like, $1 billion. It was like, that's something.
It does, but they had sponsors. They had those things that you don't necessarily recognize that takes to bring a broadcast, a game, a tournament to light. They had all of those things in pockets from others. So you add it all up, you square root it, you chop it in half, you times it by 60 some, and boom, that's the number you get. So when you think of here's how much they paid all the clubs, 114 million, they're not doing it out of the kindness of their hearts, right? FanDuel, DraftKings, casinos aren't there out of the kindness of their hearts. You may make $100 on a bet, $200 on a bet. Well, guess what? The house is always going to win. FIFA's the house. They're always going to make out good in there in a business or a 501 CFDG to make money. They're going to continue to do that. So why not? Let's give it a little back to the clubs. And it's a good thing that they are, and it's going to incite these teams to want to play. But to break down the money and the accounting side of this, we would need a heck of a lot more of a deep dive, I feel like.
I think there's one other thing here that a lot of people aren't thinking about. UEFA is vehemently against this Club World Cup. They're very outspoken, right? So magically, the tweet from FIFA, or the Instagram post from FIFA 2 days ago or whatever it was, boasted $31 million revenue per game. And they compared and contrasted it to the UEFA Champions League money, which is $28 million per match for revenue. So they're just, my guess is that they're having some convenient accounting so that they can be up on their rivals who are very outspoken about the validity of the tournament and the political grift and all of the other political corruption that is going on at FIFA.
It's a tit for tat thing, it's a who's Johnson is bigger type of thing. It's between, what's the UEFA guy's name? Sheffrin? Am I close on that? I think going back to an earlier question, I think ultimately that this was a good thing when we have a retrospective look, and then going to this question, is it a good thing for the World Cup next summer? I do think it is, right? Ultimately, it was a dry run. We know the heat things. We know the weather things. We know these things that they can improve on by some changes that we just talked about that I think there can be. We saw what happened down in Miami with the ticket thing and having to walk 2 miles to get to your car park. Those things are now, you have 350 some days to sit in a boardroom or hop on Zoom or do whatever to figure out, hey, we have to plan this. The host cities have to plan this better in order to make this tournament a little bit smoother come next summer.
Yeah, and we can't be remiss in mentioning that the best thing about this entire tournament, the outcome of this entire tournament, an incredible side effect of this tournament is that President Trump is going to consider changing U.S. soccer to football.
Those are going to be my quotes. I thought about it.
With an executive order to stop calling it soccer.
In fairness, he was kind of asked about it and kind of jokingly laughed it off. But I mean, in all he stayed on that winner's podium a little too long and a little too awkwardly, like he had never been on the podium before. Like he probably never knew the name Cole Palmer or Joel Pedro or Reece James prior, and he probably still doesn't know who the hell they are. But whatever, good for him.
All the lip reader people broke down the conversation.
Yeah,
and it's absolutely brilliant. Just hilarious.
What was the question? Are you guys Manchester United? No, we play in blue. We're Chelsea. Okay. Are you guys Real? No. This was PSG. Are you guys? Are you from England?
He goes, where's old Captain America? Where's Chris Pulisic? I want to meet him.
Yeah. Is he here? Why isn't the U.S. men's national team in this tournament?
So, on the success front, I know it's going to be about the money, but those empty stadiums were rough. I was looking for some numbers, and so you've got Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and Juventus played and at least one match with more than 30,000 empty seats. Chelsea and Borussia Dortmund in one with almost 50,000. Atletico Madrid in one with more than 60,000. Inter Milan, Champions League finalists, had a knockout tie that was barely a quarter full. As they lost it, they may be grateful their demise was witnessed by 54,837 unoccupied seats. Like,
it's not going to be that for the World Cup, though. The stadiums will be packed. It's a difference here because people were just railing against it from the start, that being the Club World Cup, this expanded thing, because everybody knew FIFA is just out to make a
Do you think it's not going to hurt the World Cup? I disagree, because why go buy your World Cup ticket at first? You should wait. FIFA will drop it to $4.
Possibly. And the dynamic pricing that they did with this, I think, is supposed to continue, but you'll see full stadiums. I think you will, especially when the U.S. play. But you have Argentina. You have all of these teams that people are going to shell out.
The South American
World
teams,
Cup country teams. You have those things.
Now you just said Argentina, but the South American countries did do well as far as attendance for this. But there's more the European teams that really didn't.
But they'll shell out for the World Cup. Absolutely.
The place I think that could be injured with attendance is that the big, beautiful bill that was just put through the House and the Senate has a massive increase in the cost of visas for almost all the other countries unless they are a strategic partner of the U.S. And so the fact that you could spend $500 on a visa to get into the country to watch your team is really going to put a damper on things.
You just wait till 6 months out when Infantino's out here having a Big Mac at the White House, and magically that goes away for the World Cup tickets. I think that'll magically go away.
Probably the good thing of Trump being at these things the way that he has been, and so buddy with Infantino, is they're going to work something out to get as many people here in the world, because ultimately it's going to make them money. It's going to make Infantino money. It's going to make Trump money, whether it's through FIFA, whether it's through tourism and travel dollars, whatever it is here in the States.
They're
gonna find a way to get people here to watch the games. Like they're good businessmen. They may not be good leaders in terms of where they're at in the world, but they're good businessmen on how they've gotten there and made as much money as they have. So they'll figure it out.
One out of the two is a good businessman. The other one is a shit stick. I'll let you decide.
I was going to say, it's real tough when that's like a toss-up right there, bro.
Which one?
Like, wait a minute. That
was just having coffee and donuts in Trump Tower.
That was sneaky, because that's
that's sneaky, Ron. That's a good way to end it.
Yeah, you're welcome. But the hard part is, a lot of people that are going to go to the World Cup in various other countries are saving money for a long period of time to make that like a grand vacation. Ticket sales aren't cheap. Travel's not cheap.
No.
And so if you're going to try and save early and you don't know if a $500 visa is waiting for you when you get to the US, you're going to think twice about that. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter that 2 months before they decide they're going to drop it. It's affecting the people who are going to try and buy all this travel a year out or a year and a half out. Right? That like people trying to buy now are affected by it, not people trying to get in at the last minute.
By the way, I also would like to point out a stat that FIFA threw out that the Club World Cup was watched by 3 billion people. But they haven't revealed cumulatively, same time, pick a big number, repeat it enough, and some people may believe it. But the chances are that full data for each country, for each game, will never be released. That's some Netflix. This is our biggest movie ever. Really? Can you got some stats?
That's some good PRing right there.
We don't share those stats. 3 billion. All right. Oh my goodness. That was a 25-minute drill. And now the halftime whistle. As we head over to Ron for Ron's beer news. All the news that's fit to drink.
Gentlemen, it is time to go to China.
Again?
Sure.
Because there is a town that I've been to called Qingdao, which is the beer capital of China. It's a massive vacation spot for beer lovers across the world because they have a beach and they have all these great summer festivals, water sports. But the main attraction is the Qingdao Beer Festival, which happens at the same time as the Oktoberfest in Germany. However, the beer places this year are going to turn into beer exchanges. So this is a pretty slick thing. They are going to basically take all of the bars. It's not quite the same as, Oktoberfest over in Germany, where you basically have these tents and they serve you, one of three styles of beer. All the bars basically sell all these different crazy beers from all over the planet. But what they're going to do is they're going to make it a combination between your favorite outdoor brewery and the New York Stock Exchange. So they're going to have all these bars with 30 different types of beer in which the prices will vary in their, by their popularity. Every 10 minutes, the price of the beer is influenced by the popularity and number of purchases for each one of those customers when they scan the QR code to order that beer. Customers will serve themselves because you scan the QR code, pay with your WeChat, and it pours your beer. At the top of the bar is a stock ticker that shows all the prices that have gone up or down. So popular beers get higher in price and the other beers' prices get lower to kind of entice the customers to drink that beer. This is a brilliant idea.
That's cool sounding, dude.
Absolutely. I would love to go to that. So different, beer enthusiasts will be able to, I guess, get a kick out of trying different beers that are cheaper on the cheaper end, knowing that, it's cheap. So you can take a chance on it. Even if you don't like it, it was cheap. Who cares? But at least you tried it. Right. Every 10 minutes, they're going to update the beer prices. And then at the end of the night, all of the prices will reset to the normal market value. So it's not a cumulative thing. Every day you show up, and if different beers are popular for a different crowd, those will be more expensive, right? What a slick, fun idea to, just have a good little time, right? Like you could totally play the market and with beer and have a good time while you're boozing it up with your friends. I just thought that was a pretty slick idea.
That's pretty rad. I like that.
Yeah, pretty cool, man.
Qingdao is the home of Tsingtao Brewery, and we have glasses. The Brewtiful Game has glasses from that brewery. We went there and visited it and all that kind of stuff. A quick history lesson: Qingdao isn't just using beer as a tourist attraction, but it's also highlighting part of the town's history, because in the late 19th century, it was occupied and colonized by Germany. And using the German brewing techniques with local ingredients, the first brewery, Tsingtao, was made in 1903 when the Germans were teaching the Chinese how to brew beer. So,
that's cool.
Kind of the history of this seaside town. It's a fun little place. When you go there, it's not the China you see on the news. It's not the China, the politicized part of China. It's this great little tourist town that just loves brewing beer and having a good time. I'll send you guys a link, and you can watch this kind of TikTok advertisement of it, and you can see how big this beer festival is, because it is super.
Put it on our socials, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll do that. They have a 4-story Hefeweizen glass.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fireworks out of it every night.
What?
That's a half of a glass.
Hey.
Wow. Good job.
Ferris, good job. The audience approves.
All right.
Write content for the Brewtiful Game, you know.
And I'll leave you with a bit of a sad thing. We had a happy thing, now we have a sad thing.
Oh.
Blake, you are going to be affected
Uh-oh.
by this. Appalachian Brewing Company closing its doors.
The one here in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew.
No, I didn't. I just recently went there not that long ago for like the first time. I guess I'd been there once or twice. We lived there before. They didn't have one near us, but there was one near us now. Are they all closing?
Yeah. So Harrisburg City Brew Pub, which was there for allegedly 28 years, is closed on July 12th, with the other locations closing it within the year. So that's a sad thing. They had some great brews. They were in Lidditz, PA, Silver Spring Township, Carlisle, Gettysburg, Harrisburg. They were, kind of reaching the fingers out into central Pennsylvania. But
wait, so the one I pulled up just said Harrisburg, but the other ones are closing too?
Yeah, according to PennLive.com.
I'm looking at an older article, I see.
Yeah, this was updated on July 15th. So today.
Oh, man, that sucks. Because the one I pulled up said, you can transfer your membership to the Lidditz Pub if you want. But I see that might be changing. Well, that's a shame.
And that, sirs, is all the news that's fit to drink.
All right, let's bring us back in. Ferris, can you bring us home in our La Liga's roundup?
Why not? The women's Euros are taking place. They've been a good watch so far. Match day 3 results. I won't go through them all, but some big score lines there. England 6-1 over Wales. Sweden 4-1 over Germany. First time that Germany's been scored in a tournament like this 4 times. Spain won again over Italy, or won again. They beat Italy 3-1. The host, Switzerland, got through on a 1-1 draw with Finland. But anyways, here's how your groups ended. So Norway top Group A with the aforementioned Switzerland. They have an unlucky next game, but I'll tell you that here in a second. Group B, Spain and Italy got through, as we kind of talked about and expected on the last pod. And Group C, it was not Germany that topped the group. It was Sweden, courtesy of that big win. And then Group D, it was France and England going through. The kind of switch swapped throughout the day, as at one point England looked like they were going to top the group. When France was down, France came out in the second half and came back and won. But they advanced. So here's how the quarterfinals and bracket is currently set up at the moment. And takes place, I think, starting on Thursday. That's the 17th, right? That's 2 days from. No, sorry, tomorrow. Norway and Italy on Wednesday it kicks off. So on your bracket side and on the same side, we'll just cover that side first. You have tomorrow Norway and Italy kicking off, and then on Thursday you have England and Sweden kicking off. England Sweden probably the match of the quarterfinals, because Sweden are no joke. We're just saying how they beat Germany. They are perennial tournament bridesmaids, if you will, because they can always get there. They can always win. They give the U.S. trouble. They give all these teams trouble, and they get these big wins, but they never quite get across the line. So coming up against England in the first round, this is not a pushover for England, and Sweden could play this kind of dark horse, just bothersome team and get themselves to the finals. Both those games are at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for us. That's one side of the bracket. On the other side of the bracket, you got France and Germany, tasty tie there, and Spain and Switzerland. As I was saying, Switzerland got in, the host city to get in, but up against Spain. Whew. Either way, that's probably the worst side of the bracket, if you will, because you assume that Spain win, right? And they would take on either France or Germany, either which would be a great game. So 8 teams left. Kicks off this Thursday. We'll go until Saturday. And then the next group of games are the following Tuesday and Wednesday. But gentlemen, which match excites you the most out of these quarterfinal games?
I mean, it's hard not to say the Sweden-England. I mean, that is like the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl, kind of a match. I don't know. Maybe Norway-Italy if I have to swing off of Sweden to England, since that's the easy answer.
Really? Why is that?
It all comes down to mythology. I'm going to throw down and say the Norwegian mythology with our Vikings and Thor and Odin sound cooler than Mars and Jupiter and cause, right, they all stole it from the Greeks. You know, Italy was just stealing stuff from the Greeks. So I'm going to go with Norway by Odin's beard and Thor's hammer. How you like that?
Perfect answer. That's well done. Ron, beat that.
Chelsea are world champions. I think
you've heard you heard mine, and you actually can't defend against it. You're like, well, now that you've said it.
I think the Sweden-England game is the easy one, like you said, but I think Spain-Switzerland is going to be the next hardest one, because I think while Spain is arguably the best team in Europe right now, Switzerland, while they haven't been amazing the entire tournament, they've got some heart, and the comebacks that they initiate are tough. And I think they could possibly edge out Spain. Maybe not
saying this is a PSG Chelsea type of game.
Maybe this is not 10 wins out of 10, but on the given day, I think they could do it.
Oh,
on any given Sunday.
That would be a crazy upset if the Switzerland team somehow gets a result or beats Spain and something. I'm do you guys want to know the odds for that game right now?
Yeah, I mean, got to be well in Spain's favor.
Switzerland are plus 2,000 to win. Spain are minus 1,100 to win. That is by far the biggest odds of wow. Yeah, that would be interesting. So, okay, we got the bracket here. Who do you think is going to go through in each of these games and then advance and eventually be the champions of Europe? Blake, I'll start with you.
I mean, because I'm probably familiar with some of the more players because of like England, it's easy to kind of say it would be fun to see England go all the way through the Euros here with the tight Odin's beard on Norway as a second.
Okay. Ron?
I think it's going to be Sweden who edges past England, and it's going to be Norway who edges past Italy.
Ooh.
And then I think that Sweden will take Italy and end up in the final. France will beat Germany. Germany will not recover from their loss at the end of the group stage. Spain and Switzerland, I think Switzerland. I'm going Switzerland. I love a good underdog story. Sweden versus Switzerland in the final with Sweden taking it all.
I agree with you. I think Germany wins and they lose to Spain. I see that absolutely. They blow it all out on France, and Spain has an easier time with Switzerland. Sorry, Swiss. We like your chocolate. But I agree with you on that.
Excuse me. I think it'd be England over Sweden, barely. Might even go to extra time. Italy over Norway. France over Germany. Spain over Switzerland. And then I think England and Spain get to the finals in a what occurred in the World Cup a few years ago. And I think this is where you could see England win from there. I think that at first round, I won't say beatdown because it wasn't a beatdown, but the first round loss to France in the way that it was woke them up away. And since then, they've put 10 goals in the next 2 games, and I think they're starting to come into form when they need to and playing earlier. Had they won that group, they would have had to wait and play another 2 days afterwards. It's more like the group stages where there's just a couple of days where they're off and they're playing again. I think that's going to help them, and I think England eventually win.
Interesting.
And that has been your La Liga's Roundup. Boom! Well, that wraps us up. Our Beers the Pod from Collusion Tap Works. I had the Shenanigans Dry Irish Stout. Monsieur Ron, what did you have?
Innis and Guns Caribbean Rum Cask Red Ale. So good.
Out of all the beers you had, that one's hit me hard right now. What did I have? I had the Sweetwater Going Coastal Pineapple IPA. That was so darn good. I just piled through that in like the first, 8 minutes of our 2-minute drill and our 25-minute, whatever it was. Very good. And then I'm just doing a hop culture again that I had on the last pod from Tactical Brewing right now.
Excellent. Ferris, do you have a Zlatan quote?
I do not, but I have a Johnny Infantino quote.
Let's hear it.
He has quoted this past week of saying, this was during his event at Trump Tower, by the way.
By the way, I just saw Infantino in the new Superman movie. He was great.
He is quoted as saying, yes, he is quoted as saying, the golden era of global football has started. We can say definitely that this FIFA Club World Cup has been huge, huge, huge success from all different points of view.
What's the first sentence? How do you start that?
The golden era of club, the golden era of global club football has started.
I feel like it should always be an emperor voice with him. The golden era of football World Cup has started. Like it's do it. I just hear that in my head.
Era of club football has started. We can say definitely that this FIFA Club World Cup has been a huge, huge success from all different points of view.
I think it was going to be Darth Vader, but instead it was like Marty McFly pretending to be Darth Vader in Back to the Future. That's what it sounded like to me.
88 miles per hour.
Oh God, nothing makes me happier than Ferris impersonations. They're so good.
Have you guys listened to the athletic podcast about was the World Cup worth it?
I have not.
I might have.
Because one of their reporters talks about that press conference that you were quoting Gianni Infantino from.
Oh, yes. I did listen to that one. Yes.
And he talks about what a surreal kind of press conference it is because he's basically on a stage behind a podium and the floor above them is kind of got a walkway around it and it's open to a kitchen up top. And somebody was making coffee, an espresso during the press conference with routing out. just some guy frothing his milk, like.
That probably made him sound even more like, a Sith Lord or in the background and them talking over it.
Yeah, go check out that podcast if you haven't heard it yet.
Oh man, I can't wait to read our next May the 4th so I can recast football notables with Star Wars characters. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Amazing. Well, please follow us on the Brewtiful Game, our socials, the Untapped, to see what beers are following. Leave us a rating or review. Let us know you did. We'll get something fun in the mail to you. That's it. I think that's it, except for there's some other World Cup news. Did you guys see that Infantino they're also trying to make more money on creating other World Cups next year. 27 after the 26 World Cup, there will be the Origami World Cup, and it's going to be held on TV, but it's only going to be available on pay-per-view.
Nice. Yeah.
When Ferris give me a nod with a good solid, I don't know if that's as good as when he hates it, but I'll take it.
Also, gentlemen, just so you're aware, now that Chelsea have won the Club World Cup and we are world champions, in 2 years they're going to end up being the Earth's champion in the Galactic World Cup. So be ready for that.
It's probably coming.
More than likely.
Mars FC and Moon United.
I think that has a better odds than Switzerland do against Spain in the Euros.
Probably. Love the beer, cherish the game, the Brewtiful Game.
I love a good underdog story.